deep dive is an homage to the double leg kick. You're going to start with the magic circle in between your ankles and then walk your feet together close enough that you feel like you've made an oval out of your circle. With your arms down by your sides, begin pumping your arms strongly for the 100, starting to think about lengthening the front of your pelvis and lengthening in your back space. Inhale for 5, exhale for 5. That feels pretty good, and you want to hover your heels up off the floor. One even better, and then raise it up a little higher for a little bit more of a challenge. You're also welcome to lift and lower up on the inhale, down on the exhale, while pulling yourself in 2 directions. Getting ready for things like the double leg stretch on our belly, things that resemble the swan, where we're trying to pull some length out of the front without creating compression in the spine. Let's do 3 more breaths for the 100. And then go right into the roll up. Reach your arms up toward the ceiling, lengthen your front, and then exhale to roll down, continuing to squeeze the ring. Inhale once you get to the bottom, and then exhale, roll back up. Let's just do 2 more times. So we're starting standing today so that we can get a little bit of length of the trunk pulling away from the legs, so that when we finally get to the double leg stretch on our stomachs, we kind of know where we're coming from. With the ring still in between your ankles, start to circle your arms down, out, around, and up, kind of like on the pedipole. And here's what I want you to work on. Every time that your arms come out to the sides, feel the feeling of your 2 arms being separated from you, like you're trying to create length starting at the middle of your breastbone. Then see if you can maintain that feeling even as you close the arms and bring them into a different position. Reverse your circle. So looking for width out of the sides and a length out of the front and back. And then bring your arms down by your sides. Moving on into the chest expansion. As you lift your heels, press your arms back like you're trying to push the wall behind you away. Leave your heels in the air and turn and look one direction and then the other direction. Once you come back to center, you can lower your heels and reach your arms forward. You're going to inhale and hold your breath as you lift. When your head comes back to center, finally, you can exhale and lower your heels back down. Height of the heels doesn't matter. Even just a little bit of a hover can give you the sense of creating more of a challenge in keeping your 2-way stretch. Let's do 1 more time for the chest expansion. And then reach down and take the ring out from between your ankles. And you're going to hold it so that the heel of your hand is in the center of the pad of the ring and your fingers are wrapped around the top. That's going to go behind you, standing in a V position with about 3 fingers with a space in between your big toe bones. Reach the ring down toward the floor and then squeeze in slightly on the ring so that you maintain the heel of the hand contact. Begin to reach the ring away from you, and as you do, lift your breastbone so that you're going into a little bit of an arch, and then back to center. Take a deep breath in. Reach the ring to the floor, and then exhale. Lift the ring away from your body. I'm going to show you a look from the back so that you can see I'm not trying to lock my elbows out to get my shoulder blades to squeeze together, but rather keeping that feeling of the wide arm position that we had in the arm circles and squeezing in on the ring even though I'm reaching the ring behind me. Notice for yourself if you start rocking to the outer edge or the inner edge of the heel of your hand on either arm, and see what you need to do to maintain contact. Once again, you're inhaling toward the floor, exhaling to lift as you arch through your upper back, and then back to center. Go back to the ring in between your ankles. Walk your feet a little closer together, and let's talk about the pelvis. Put one hand on the front of the pelvis, one hand on the back. Find the center so that there's no tipping either direction of your pelvis. Leave that the same, and then inhale, lift your sternum up to back bend from your upper back, and then come back to center, switch your hands. Inhale, and exhale. So you can see that my head is just kind of going with me rather than dropping itself back and cutting off my throat. One more time on the other side. Inhale. And exhale. Reach down and grab your ring again. This time you're going to put the pad of the ring at the base of your skull, just above where the fleshy part of the neck meets the bottom of the head. Then this is the same idea. Feet are back in Pilates V now. You're holding onto the outside of the ring. You're giving a little bit of pressure of your head into the ring. As if you still had your hands on your pelvis, keep that neutral. Then on your inhale, lift your breastbone. Your head's just going to ride with you. And then come back to center. And at the end of the double leg kick, we can always take our head and look up a little bit more. But here, we're trying to focus on maintaining the length in the back of the neck and getting the action to happen from the thoracic spine. 2 more times. Inhale to lift. I'm also pulling slightly away from my body to give the back of my neck a little bit of traction. And 1 more time. Inhale to lift. Pelvis stays the same. I'm using the squeeze of my legs together to prevent that from happening. And come back to center. We're going down all the way onto the mat. So you're going to stand onto your mat into Pilates V, hold the ring in your hands and reach it forward. Have the same wide arm position, wide elbow position by pulling the ring apart. Stay as vertical as you can as you slowly lower yourself all the way down onto the mat. Keep your heels squeezing together at all times and then sit down on your seat, scoot yourself back and lie down. With the ring reaching way over your head and your legs reaching down the mat, imagine you're lying here on your tummy, about to do your back extension. Find some length in the front of your pelvis by thinking about the pubic bone flesh coming up toward your face and the flesh of the thigh reaching down away from this pointy part on your hip. Keep all of that the same and then raise one leg in the air only as far as it can go without changing that feeling, and then lift the other leg up. Press the ring down into the floor and keep your wide elbow position so that the width across the front of your pelvis matches the width across your chest. 1 more on the right, 1 more on the left. And this next time that you bring your right leg in the air, flex your left ankle and circle the right leg around for 5, 4. Still imagine yourself lying there on your belly, the floor acting as the lengthener of the front of your hip socket. And reverse. Bring that leg all the way down, flex it next to your other leg, then lengthen into your 2-way stretch so that you can lift the other leg up without disturbing your pelvis. And 5. And then you're going to put the toes on the bottom edge of the ring. Pull the ring into your chest by bending your knees. Take a deep breath in. See if you can lift your seat to rock yourself up into like a rolling like a ball and go for a ride for 5, 4. Let's move it a little faster today, still working on the length of the front of the hip socket to keep yourself in this shape. And then put the ring in between your inner thighs. Squeeze them together, bring the heels together, wrap your legs around. Still think of this space between your thighs and your belly wall. Inhale, exhale. Then you're going to go right to your stomach today. Stand the ring up vertically. Place one hand on the top, and then the other. Elbows can be as bent as you'd like. Forehead goes on the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Pull your pubic bone up again, and think of the standing position where you were pulling your trunk away from your legs and squeezing the ring in between your ankles. On your inhale, lift your upper body. No need to press down on the ring just yet. Exhale to lower back down. Same wide elbow, wide chest position. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. So here's where we had our hands on our pelvis in the front and in the back, and we were trying to lengthen by lifting the trunk. We also tried this with the ring behind the head to get the neck to lengthen. But here in the swan, once you lift up to your full height, go ahead and lift your head and look out over the ring, and then right back down. This time stay up in your swan, only as high as you're comfortable with. The same strategy we were talking about in the pelvis, and then press down into the ring, lift a little higher. Pull yourself forward as you release the ring back to its original shape. Exhale. Inhale. And I'm thinking of the shaving arms here where the elbows reach out to the sides. Exhale. Inhale. One more time, still squeezing the legs together. And then you lower all the way down. Put the ring on the floor above your head. Press yourself into a child's pose and sit on your heels. Take a deep breath into your armpits so that your scapula pull away from the rib cage, and then roll yourself all the way up to seated. Slide yourself back again onto your elbows this time. Pull the ring toward you and squeeze it between the heels of your hand and release. Do that a few times, and what you hopefully see is the flesh of your forearm rolling back and forth so that also your upper arm is squeezing in on the ring. Do that a couple more times. Now squeeze the ring and hold it and drop your head and look into your belly. Then re-extend and look forward out over the head of the mat. Do this a couple times so that every time that you drop your head and look for your belly, it becomes obvious to you that it's a lot easier to lift the flesh of your belly away from the bowl of your pelvis by looking down. You'll also notice that your ASIS bones, your sticky outie bones in the front of your pelvis, come off the floor as you do that. Let's go 2 more times. And last one, you may think of something similar being in the elephant. Now keep looking down at your belly, keep lengthening your legs, keep pulling your flesh of your belly up toward your face. Leave that space between your stomach and the mat, and then look forward again into your single leg kick, and we go kick, 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 kick. So all that stuff we worked on when you were standing, you're using it here to pull the lower half of your pelvis up and forward while the legs lengthen away. 2 more sets. And then scoot yourself onto the mat in a way that you can lengthen the ring out in front of you, but still hold it the same way that you were before. Lift your legs up off the mat so that all that's touching is the thigh and up and not the kneecap and below. In this position with your legs extended, you're going to squeeze your heels into your bottom 3 times. Put your feet on the floor, squeeze the ring, pull the ring toward you as you do that same arch from the upper back with your hands on your pelvis. And come back down on your exhale. As you continue to exhale, you set yourself up for your next repetition by lifting your legs, kicking 3 times. Once you plant your feet, the pelvis stays in place. You pull your trunk away from your pelvis and squeeze the ring. And then lower back down. 1 more time for the double leg kick. And then we'll do a more traditional position. Just like when you were standing, take the ring behind your back, hold it on the edges and forehead on the mat. Draw your ring up your back as far as it'll go with the heel of your hand still connected to the ring, and then lower and lift your elbows a few times. Do your best to keep both sides of the heel of your hand connected to the ring. And then drop your elbows as far as they'll go. Right where the hole of the ring is framing your low ribs, low back, sacrum, and pelvis, use a big breath in to lengthen that space and pull your pubic bone to your face. Lift your legs off the floor. Here we go for a more traditional double leg kick. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze on the exhale. Push the feet down. Inhale, reach the ring just like we did when you were standing. Come right back again. Drop the elbows as you kick, kick, kick. And inhale to reach. 2 more times and a kick, kick, kick. That same feeling of a wide elbow position. And then once your forehead is down again, swing the ring around to the front, give yourself a little push, and have a seat on your feet. And we'll finish with 3 bridges, 3 teasers, and a side bend. Come to your bottom. Once your feet are flat on the mat, place the ring in between your 2 thighs. Reach your arms forward and then exhale and roll all the way down. With your arms by your side, scoot your feet in a little bit closer. Give the ring a good squeeze and then send your pubic bone forward toward your kneecaps, but pull the flesh of your belly up toward your face. Once you're up there in the bridge, squeeze and release the ring all the way out into its original shape, and then all the way into an oval, tightest little squeeze you can manage. 4 more. Then just like when we started standing, you're going to try to pull your trunk away from your pelvis. So squeeze the ring and hold it. Pull your trunk the direction of the head of your mat. Pull your pelvis the direction of the foot of your mat. And that should keep your head right in place and as you come all the way down onto your sacrum. Do that again. Reach your upper body away from your lower body, pushing your 2 feet prints into the mat, and then squeeze the ring open and close. See how smooth that you can make the squeezing in and out this time, as if whatever energy that you put into the ring, you have to reabsorb with just as much control. 3 more. And then squeeze the ring and hold it. Roll all the way back down. 2-way stretch of the trunk away from the pelvis. We'll go one more time. Squeeze the ring. Roll up. Hold it up there. And 8 times to squeeze. See if you can soften your jaw, soften across the collarbones. Reach the arms a little longer, but without locking them into your body. And then on your last squeeze, hold the ring, still 2-way stretch as you roll yourself all the way down. Simply slide your feet out a little further away from you. Still squeeze the ring. Go all the way out with your feet so that when you lift one leg in the air, that would be about where your teaser leg would go. Keep your pelvis on the mat and continue alternating back and forth, lifting one leg and then the other. The goal here is to see if you can use your stomach and your center, your 2-way stretch, to keep your pelvis in about the same place as you change legs. The next time one leg is in the air, walk your legs a little closer together. Reach your arms toward your toes, take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, come all the way up into your teaser. Remember, not too far forward. You're staying way back on your sacrum. Switch your feet, squeeze the legs together, and then roll down on this side. Arms go over your head, ring stays the same. Exhale, come up and reach for that foot. Switch sides. Last one on your second side. Both feet go on the floor. Drag your feet in so you can grab your ring with your hands. Put your legs all the way together and extend your legs with your arms up toward the ceiling. Inhale for a deep breath and then exhale. Squeeze the ring and roll yourself up into your roll up. Come up to standing when you're ready. Place the ring back in between your ankles again, and we'll end with that side bend. Once you pull your feet a little closer together, make sure that the whole sole of your foot is pressing down into the floor. You're going to have to work a little bit for that since the ring is trying to spring open your legs. Take a deep breath in and reach your arms up toward the ceiling. Grab one wrist with the opposite hand. Take another deep breath to pull your trunk away from your pelvis and your pelvis reaching into the ring, and then reach over to the side and hold it here. You're going to keep squeezing the ring and keep asserting the sole of your foot into the mat. Go a little bit further with the top side of the body and then match it with the bottom side. Little further with the top side and then match the length with the bottom side so you don't feel any crunching on the side that you're going toward. Last breath. Come back to center, bring the arms all the way down, and then inhale again. Grab the opposite wrist, and then stretch over to that other side. Check in with your feet so you're still squeezing in and up on the ring and reaching down with your pelvis into your feet. Keep pulling your trunk away from your pelvis and take 3 deep breaths. Lengthen on your inhale. Match the length on the exhale. And each time you do that, that's going to get a little more subtle and a little more subtle until I probably can't even tell that you're doing it anymore. And on your last breath out, come back to center, bring your arms down. We'll end with one final roll down. Arms go up. You inhale, 2-way stretch the rib cage away from the pelvis, and then exhale, roll all the way down. And then all the way back up. And you are finished. Join me tomorrow for our next deep dive with the magic circle.